Hi, I'm Emma Jefferies and this is Emma's International Design Walkabout. Striving to be a better design researcher and develop a valuable service as the design doctor to support the enhancement of design teams' creative practices, over the next year I wish to take an international design walkabout to learn from inspiring designers in inspirational places. Whether that be in San Francisco, where you walk into a coffee shop and everyone's a designer, or in emerging design places such as India with their can-do approach, or in Brazil, where they're really passionate. With a curiosity for how people think and learn, I figured out the best way to improve is to move outside your comfort zone, as it reframes how and what you see. I know this to be true, having given this advice to a fellow designer, a friend that had an amazing but sometimes challenging international design experience, where he gained a lot and understood where his skills have impact and understood different creative practices. So now it's time to take my own advice and seek out companies from across the globe that would find what I could offer of benefit for short periods of time, 3 to 6 months, over the course of the next year. Before sharing with you what I can offer, here's a little bit about my background and my story so far. I have a first class multimedia degree and recently gained a PhD in design, both of which I studied at Northumbria's School of Design in Newcastle in the UK. I freelanced as a designer and researcher whilst undertaking the PhD. My commercial clients range from startup companies to medical research teams to consumer electronics manufacturers. Lecturing on subjects including branding, publishing, interface design at Northumbria's Design School, and I've also formed a team to create a set of tools to research and innovate methods of student collaborative design inquiry. Over the last couple of months, I've had conversations with several high-profile London design companies in different fields, from digital, social innovation and insight and foresight. My intention really was to try and establish and understand where my mixed skill set as a researcher, designer, educator and writer would be of value within these companies' environments. These informal conversations have really been extremely helpful in enabling me to pinpoint where my various skill sets will have the most impact. The feedback gained from the people I've spoken with has enabled me to see that my skills and approach lie in two main offerings: as a design researcher and as the design doctor. As a design researcher and user experience designer, this offering came from talking through a portfolio piece called Baby Bonding with 2 user experience designers. This project drew on my skills as a researcher, interaction designer, branding, concept generation, and photography skills. Having talked through this project, one of the designers asked me, "It's clear that you can do all of these elements, but which part are you passionate about?" My response was, I'm really passionate about the thinking and the research that goes behind the design, and using approaches and adapting methods to create a strong foundation and clear direction for the design. I really like finding engaging ways of communicating this direction and engaging in idea generation that users will ultimately find a product that's worthwhile both on a practical level and an emotional level. This is why I see my first offering as a design researcher and user experience designer. My second offering was based on how I could work with businesses as the design doctor. This is an idea that would utilise my knowledge and experience as a service to design companies on an organisational level. This idea came from sharing this portfolio image with a director of innovation at a London-based company. The image of the woman stuck in a box was from a workshop I conducted with the master's students at Northumbria's Design School to enable them to visualise how they felt about their process, and it provided her with a means to communicate where she was getting stuck and take a fresh look about how she felt about her creative practices. Through more conversations with designers and managers, it was apparent that most teams implicitly understand where things are going wrong, but due to daily time pressures to meet deadlines, it is rare that they really have the time to discuss the problems and identify opportunities for improvement and to visualise a way forward. As the design doctor, my goal is to enable design teams to take a fresh look at their creative practices to help diagnose where enhancements that are commercially beneficial can be made. As the design doctor, I can provide a half-day free design light taster workshop. This workshop aims to facilitate a safe space for a design team to consider how they feel about the design process, diagnose strengths, limitations, and develop questions that they would pose to enhance their process. If a team has diagnosed areas that they wish to improve, you could be interested in a 10-day, 360-degree design checkup that will support a team to further diagnose and share where enhancements can be made. The outcome of the workshop and the checkup will both be summarised and shared in a written report. If there's a gap in your company and you see value in what I can offer, it would be great to have a conversation. I can be contacted on Twitter, Dr. Emma Jefferies, or email emmajefferies@gmail.com. Thank you for listening.